Hi everyone, this is just a little birthday story for somebody. And this one is called What the Ladybird Heard on Holiday. The author is Julia Donaldson and the illustrator is Lydia Monks. And these are the animals that were in the zoo. So let's see, where did the ladybird go on holidays? There's a clue there. You might recognise these, or you might recognise that palace. And there's a few more clues there. There's the palace, you've got the zoo, you've got the red double-decker buses, you've London Bridge, the London Eye. This building is called the Gherkin. You've got the Thames River. It's London. One fine day in the middle of May, the ladybird went on holiday. She flew to the town to see the sights, the streets and the shops, and the bright, bright lights. She saw the parks and the palace too, and off she flew to visit the zoo. And the crocodile snapped, and the tiger growled, the lion roared, and the monkeys howled. The elephant trumpeted, trump, trump, trump. Humph, said the camel with the great big hump. The hyena laughed and the hummingbird whirred. But the ladybird said never a word. But the ladybird saw and the ladybird heard. She saw two men she already knew. They were Lanky Len and Hefty Hugh. And she heard them chuckle, ho, ho, we're going to kidnap Monkey Joe. Going to kidnap the monkey? We'll hide till there's no one else about, then we'll pick the lock and we'll get Joe out. And if we give him lots of fruit, he'll do the job and he'll get the loot. The palace isn't far at all. Monkey Joe can scale the wall. He'll find out where the queen's asleep, then tiptoe into her room he'll creep. He'll open the sack and he will steal her crown, and we will soon be the richest man in town. Yep, another plan to make money. But look where the ladybird is there. The little spotty ladybird told the animals what she heard. The crocodile snapped and the tiger growled. The lion roared and the monkeys howled. The elephant trumpeted, trump, trump, trump. Humph, said the camel with the great big hump. The hyena cried and the hummingbird whirred. And all of the animals, feathered and furred, said, no, 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 we can't let them steal Monkey Joe. But the ladybird had a good idea, and she whispered it into the monkey's ear. Then straight away the ladybird flew to the palace and had a word with the queen's two corgis, Willow and Holly. And one said gosh and the other said golly. So there's the corgis, they're the dogs that the queen has. And both the dogs agreed to do just what the ladybird told them to. At dead of night, the two bad men, Hefty Hugh and Lanky Len, they checked there was no one else about. Then they picked the lock and they got Joe out. Look, there are plenty of animals about. They carried him off to the palace gate. They gave him a sack and then they lay in wait. They watched him scale the palace wall and they muttered, careful not to fall. Then they rubbed their hands as they saw him creeping into the room where the queen lay sleeping. I wonder if she's sleeping in there or sleeping in here. Corgi Holly and Corgi Willow, who lay each side of the Queen's soft pillow, were wide awake, and they said to Joe, "Come on, monkey, off we go." They led the way while the Queen still slept, and they showed young Joe where their bones were kept. Then they helped the monkey fill the sack, and they wagged their tails as he carried it back. Doing a trick, aren't they? The two thieves yelled, "Hip hip hooray! But now let's make our getaway." They carried the sack to a nice quiet park where the only sound was a distant bark. They found a bench and they both sat down, and Hugh said, "Time to see that crown." "I just can't wait," said Lanky Len. They opened the sack, but then you should have heard their moans and groans to find that the sack was full of bones. Just then a dog came bounding up, and Hugh said, "Shoo, you greedy pup." Why are all the dogs coming here now? Can you guess? They all love bones. Another dog was close behind, and then came dogs of every kind. A lurcher and a Labrador, a pig, a pug, and then more and more. Black dogs, white dogs, grey and brown, it seemed like every dog in town. They seized the bones and they gnashed and they gnawed, tugged and tussled and they pawed and they clawed. Then they turned upon the robbers yelping, "Rrr, rrr, rrr. How about a second helping?" And I think that's my dog there. Is that a Pekingese? And you see the ladybird is here on the pug. So they're looking for a second helping of bones. The thieves took off with leaps and bounds, pursued by all the hungry hounds, while the monkey ran and the ladybird flew, with never a stop until they reached the zoo. Then the crocodile grinned and the tiger pranced, the lions leapt and the monkeys danced, the elephant trumpeted trump, trump, trump. Hooray, said the camel with the great big hump. The hyena laughed and the hummingbird whirred. But the ladybird never said a word. And that is the end of what the ladybird heard on holidays. Happy birthday, Alana. Bye.